Okay, next video. George Soros, multi-billionaire, elitist, absolutely an elitist, dumps shares in Citigroup, Bank of America, and my favorite, JP Morgan. This is also one of those guys who has more than one time told everyone to stay away from gold. His forecast is not looking good for gold. He's selling some of his gold, and then shortly after that, he like quietly would buy up some gold. Hush hush. Not that it could be too hush hush when a billionaire buys gold in gold mining stocks or shares. So here we have Mr. George Soros in the spotlight. Now keep in mind, it was also him. I did a video on this a little earlier this year, a month or two ago, and that he is shorting the stock market. I think it may have been the S&P in particular for like November or sometime later this year. There's only a window of time when you short something that you have for it to take place. If it doesn't take place within that window, it doesn't count later on if the price goes down, because that's what a short position is betting on, that the price of some stock or stock market or whatever is going down. So he had purchased that earlier this year. Or in other words, not necessarily purchased, but it's out there. He bought the contract, so to speak. It's in play. So later on this year, the market better come crashing down a bit for him to make some money. If it doesn't, he loses. And his track record is nothing short of phenomenal, especially when you're an elite insider like him. So that kind of goes hand in hand. So this is from it's not Got Slaves. It's Government Slaves, GOVT slaves.info. Just over 2 decades ago, bankers George Soros, elitist extraordinaire, made his most famous investment by shorting the British pound and pocketing $1 billion in the process. Since then, he has become famous for betting on stock market crashes and in some cases even rigging markets to fail for his own gain. Just months ago, here it is, Soros made headlines by making $1 billion stock bet against the S&P 500, hoping it goes down in price because it's a short position. At the time, this was said to be a sign of trouble ahead for the U.S. economy, as Soros has seemed to have had advanced knowledge of market crashes in the past. As a result of this reputation, investors have begun to keep a close eye on his holdings and what he's doing with his money and investments. This week, investors took notice again when George Soros sold his shares, apparently all of his shares, in 3 major, too big to fail, American banking giants: Bank of America, Citigroup, and JP Morgan. Emphasis on JP Morgan because they're my favorite. The Wall Street Journal reported that, quote, George Soros dumped his stakes in banks and went for tech and gold miners in the first quarter, according to a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission Thursday. Soros sold his holdings in Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Bank of America, end quote. Let me read that first little part again, in case you didn't catch it. George Soros dumped his stakes in 3 banks and went for tech and gold miners instead in the first quarter of this year. The reason we're finding out now, since we're past the first quarter, is because these filings are always delayed by the time they get out into the public information. But at least we get to see them and then look at what someone did a month or 2 or whatever the time lapse ago. This guy being one of the important ones to follow. In February 2009, Soros said the world financial system had effectively disintegrated, adding that there was no prospect of a near-term resolution to the crisis. Quote, we witnessed the collapse of the financial system. It was placed on life support, and it's still on life support. There's no sign that we are anywhere near a bottom. Why is he going and taking his money out of the too big to fail banks if these are the best places to be, profit every quarter, get out of jail cards free from the Security and Exchange Commission. You do a crime, just pay us this $500 million fee, and you admit no guilt, and we'll drop any further investigations and drop the charges on you. You made $3 or $4 billion doing this illegal act, so just settle out of court for a fraction of that, half a billion dollars, which sounds like a lot of money. $500 million is an enormous amount of money, but it's nothing compared to when you made $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 billion rigging and cheating and lying and stealing to do that. It's a phenomenal business model. I break the law, make incredible amounts of profit, and then take a tiny portion of that profit to basically settle out of court. And I know I can settle out of court because the person in charge of the Security and Exchange Commission is one of our club members, our pals. And when they leave, one of our other pals goes into that position. And when they leave, another one of our pals goes into that position. So we always have a guy in that position so that we can always get out of jail free. So, George Soros is dumping his bank stocks and going for the gold mining stocks. Did I just tell you the other day, yes I did, that former CEO of Goldman Sachs is now running the largest gold mine company, Barrick Gold Mine, on the face of the earth, and they're trying to get a business deal going with the second largest mining company in the world to make them into one. Why would a banker such as Goldman Sachs, who again recently his company said to stay away from gold, it's as Ben Bernanke said, it's just an old relic, no need to do anything with it. And then when Ron Paul asked Bernanke, a couple years ago, is gold money? Bernanke said, no, it's not. And Ron Paul said, then why do central banks, such as yours, store it? Why do you purchase it? You see Bernanke get so uncomfortable. It's just for tradition. Just a tradition. And then he asked him, well then, why don't you? I think he asked him first. Why don't you store like pearls or diamonds or something else? Why gold? It's just a tradition. I've said this so many times that if I could count it, I don't even know what the number would be. Absurd amount of times. If you do not have precious metals such as gold and silver, either of those, take your pick. I choose silver because I know it's manipulated more than gold, and I know it's going to bounce back higher as far as a percentage more than gold will. That's why I choose silver. You will be really happy with the price of gold when you see where it's going to go. But you are going to be extremely beyond your imagination happy when you see how silver responds when all this comes crashing down. If you do not have precious metals, you are out of your flipping mind. When you have an elitist like George Soros, who never, ever, ever, ever makes a wrong move, because he's an insider, I think it's safe to say you might want to do what he does. And he, rather than buy the gold itself, because probably he knows the club members don't want me buying personal gold for myself, because I'm going to be screwing them over by taking more physical out of the supply that's dwindling, and they need it to put these little paper fires out, so to speak. So I'm not going to buy it, but I will buy mining shares in a company. As a matter of fact, he's probably going to go with, guess who? Barrick Gold Mine. Former CEO, Goldman Sachs. That's the guy we're going to go with. I would almost bet on it. Matter of fact, not almost. I would bet that at least some of that, maybe he went to different mining companies, right? Shares of this company, shares of that company. But I know he went to the old Goldman Sachs Club, new company now known as Barrick Gold Mine. So all you have to do is do what they do. The issue has always been, well, how do we know what they do? They're secret, they're private, You look at their filings. Yes, it's delayed information, but it's not that delayed. It's a month or two behind. So what? It's enough, especially because it's not like he did this in January and then by February, whatever happened, and he made, $200 million on the move. No, he did this in February. The S&P is not scheduled to crash till later this year, way later, according to his filings. So the fact that I didn't get that information for a month and a half, 2 months, whatever it is, 3 months, doesn't matter. I've got it now. You have it now. He's dumping his bank stocks. He's calling for a crash in the stock market, especially the S&P in this case, later this year. And he's taking his money now and taking what he had in the banking stocks, taking that out and dumping it in the gold mines. And tech, he says. Tech and gold miners. You are going to kick yourself in the rear end if you sit idly by saying, well, I don't. They've pushed the price of silver down for so long. They could do this for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 more years. What's going to stop them? I don't want to get involved. And you would have a valid argument unless you studied everything, how they use their mechanism, what mechanisms they use to control the price, and you see these mechanisms, these tools getting chipped away, can't do that anymore, that one's gone, can't use that tool anymore. There's not too many tools left. Is it any surprise that all of a sudden the London PM fix for silver is going away in August? 117 or 100 and something, 12 years, the PM fix, precious metal fix, has been going on. 100 and something years. And all of a sudden, 2014, August, we're stopping. And all of a sudden, he's dumping his stocks in the banking institutions. They are all going to be crashing down. And since they are all related to derivatives, every one of these large banks are massively over-leveraged in derivatives to the tune of trillions of dollars. How you could even have these instruments worth trillions of dollars when you only have billions of dollars in real assets or anything else is beyond my capability to even grasp how it even exists on paper. If you don't have money, you don't own something. You don't have $30 trillion, then you can't have $30 trillion of derivatives on any of your balance sheets. It doesn't exist. So how the hell did it get there? The bottom line is, that's just part of the mechanism they use to control prices of everything. One of those things is silver derivatives, which is absolutely set by that London PM fix that is going away in August. So what the hell is going to happen after August? Are they going to find another mechanism to replace that? Or is all of a sudden, are we going to find out that the market starts acting like a real market, free market, true free market, and the prices go ape to catch up to where they belong? And when I come out here and talk about $5 a day moves in silver and $20 a day moves in silver, I could hear people now just, oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Yet it already happened with Bitcoin when it was a couple of dollars and went up to 12, 13, whatever it was, $100. So don't say this can't happen. So it absolutely can, and it's going to. Because the fiat currency reset is coming. And the people of the world will demand that we are fiscally more responsible than ever before. And we are not going to stand here and say, let's do the same experiment we did. Let's have another new unbacked currency that you guys can just print at will at any speed you want. And let's see how that goes again. You wiped out my 401k. The entire stock market's been destroyed. The banking system has collapsed. Blah, 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 right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 different reasons. You think people are going to stand by and say, let's try that again? They're going to say, we need something that's backed by something of value. And they may realize we don't have enough gold and silver in the world to back it all, like individually, at an individual citizen level. Okay, we understand. But our government better have it to back it on a national basis, international basis. Yes, we can handle that. As a matter of fact, we've got a currency over here by the IMF that is just such a perfect tool. Except Russia, China, India, the BRICS nations have already decided we were going to go with you guys, but we changed our mind. We're going to do our own thing, which is what's happening right now. Russia and China just closed the most massive oil, gas deal known to mankind just a matter of a day or two ago. China has agreed with Pakistan to start settling their oil and other trades without using the US dollar, almost effective immediately. And then there's another country doing it, and another country doing it. The countries are jumping ship. Panama. Good old Panama. You know the Panama Canal? Their dollar has been 1-to-1 with our dollar forever. Literally forever. How is it that Venezuela or what's the other one? Argentina should have a lot larger size and economy compared to Panama. How is it that their dollar isn't 1-to-1 with ours, and their dollar has been 3, 4, 5, 6-to-1 with ours? How is that possible? Because Panama played by the rules, and they're our rules. You use our dollar, you do what we say, and everything will be all right. Venezuela, Argentina, you're not using our dollar. You're not settling trade and oil in our dollar. You suffer the consequence. Your dollar has been devalued X amount so that you get to suffer. That's how we roll in America. You don't know that. You would never, ever be taught that in school because the schools don't even know about it anyways. But that's the dirty, dirty secret of the late and great America. That's how we now roll. And it's our government leaders who are doing it, not you, not me, not the average citizen. We are basically riding that bus. And it is headed by these government plutocrats, oligarchs, you name it. And they're switching out each other. Hey, I'm the bus driver, president. Now you get to be, hey, we got two guys here. One's red, one's blue. Which one are you going to ride the bus next? It doesn't matter. You're still part of the club. Just take a pick. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Guys in the back. That's us. That's you and me. Time to vote. Which one? You want the blue guy or the red guy? It's a democracy. You get to vote whoever you want. Oh, we do? Yeah, but you only out of these two choices. You do get to choose, but only of these two choices. So just pick one. They want the blue guy last time. They want a red guy. Red guy come in. You're the new bus driver. The bus is already going down a predetermined road. I am trying to wake people up to be next to the emergency exit so that you can jump off and hopefully just take a little bit of scratches on your arms as the only casualty so that when that bus goes off the cliff, you're not on it. And by that, I mean buying precious metals to protect yourself. Mr. Never Get It Wrong, George Soros, has done it. He's buying the mining stocks right now. He's dumping his bank stocks, all of them. The big crash, as Lindsey Williams, etc., and other people have said is coming. It is here. It's right around the corner. Which month, I don't know, nor do I care. Because the longer they can stretch this out, the more I can finally get more and more and more precious metals. I'm here to tell you that I had a lot of people comment, oh, I got my 500 ounces, I got my 500 ounces. Yeah, I'm good. That is a good number of silver to have. Can you imagine if it's $500 times 500 ounces is $250,000? You're going to look back and say, oh my God, back when I bought it, I'm cost averaged in 500 ounces is about $30, let's say. 5 times 8. I paid $18,000 total for all this silver, and it's now worth $250K. Okay, house paid off. What else should I do? Right? Done. See ya. That's the name of the game. Because no matter how bad things really get, if you have a house, if you don't have a freaking mortgage or rent payment, you can skate right through things. You could be that guy who says, I'll go work at McDonald's for minimum wage. It's okay. I can pay my bills with minimum wage. Because I own my house. I have no rent, etc. It's paid for. The rest of you guys have some kind of rent payment and or mortgage, so I can go get any job I want, and I can tell them I'll make the least amount of money because I have the least amount of bills. So all the other people standing in line saying, oh, I can't work for that kind of money, that's crazy. No, I can't work for minimum wage. Oh, I got to find another job, only to find out that you can't find another job. You could skate by working at some place, minimum wage. And while everyone may laugh at you, did you hear about, Melissa? She's working over whatever, minimum wage. Why is she doing that? She could go get a better job. She bought some silver. Her house is paid off. She has hardly any bills, so she can afford a much less stressful job than the rest of you who have to figure out how you're going to pay your nice Mercedes or whatever car payment, your boat payment, your house payment, kids go and pay that payment. And a lot of times, it's a payment because you owe it, not that, I can just turn it off. Like I can just make a phone call. I don't want that anymore. I don't want my car anymore. You can have it. Okay, well now your credit's shot. They can come get the car, but they may try to go after you for the difference when they sell the car, right? So the bottom line is getting out of debt is the best thing you can do. So I'm here to give you the news. This is Realist News at its finest. Take care.